Good morning, yogis. How are you today? This is Julie from Totally Holistic Health. It's lovely that you've come to join me today. I get a lot of people come to ask me about the length of their yoga practices, whether they need to go to full classes, or how much time they need to spend on a daily basis if they're actually planning to do yoga on a daily basis, or I don't have time for a full class. You don't actually need to spend a whole sort of like hour to an hour and a half on yoga. I mean, if you actually just get onto a mat at any time of the day, my personal time it tends to be more in the morning, but even just spending sort of 10-15 minutes just on a yoga mat is absolutely sufficient. It's actually probably more effective than sort of like doing once a week yoga class. So if you can get on a mat about sort of 10-15 minutes a day, that's absolutely brilliant. And it's quite nice because you can really sort of check into how you're feeling, just check into what you actually need to do, because sometimes you don't feel like doing sort of certain poses, or it could be that the poses you don't feel like doing maybe is what you actually need to do, but it's really just a chance just to check in to find out really what you feel you actually want to do in that particular day. So it's a really lovely way to sort of like start your practice on a regular basis. Also, depending on what time of day you decide to do it, if you're a morning yoga person like myself, you might find that the practice you do tends to be a little bit more, you're just trying to wake up the body a little bit, just trying to iron out any kinks, whereas if you do a yoga practice later in the evening, it might be a little bit more restorative, it might be a bit more gentle, because you don't want to do something too vigorous because that will obviously wake you up again. So, at the time of day that you do it, also if you do it at lunchtime maybe as well, you might want something to give you a little bit more energy. So if you're sort of like do it sort of after your lunch or something like that, if you've got a spare 5-10 minutes, obviously if you're in a workplace it's probably not advisable, but if you do have a spare time, after lunch for 10-15 minutes of yoga, I mean that might be something you do a little bit more energetic. So it's just trying to fit around a time of day that really suits you. And I said, personally for me, I prefer doing it in the morning because I tend to be teaching most of the day or working. So it's just a nice time to just check into how I'm feeling, what I want to achieve that particular day, and just really wakes me up and just really sets me in a good mood for the rest of the day. But just finding that time that suits you, and just maybe just taking that 5-10 minutes out of your day just to start a yoga practice is really, really beneficial. So I thought today would be quite nice to maybe just do a 5-10-15 minute yoga practice, just maybe sort of something to wake you up in the morning, just to get your juices flowing and just iron all those kinks out of the body. So if you'd like to join me on the mat, we're going to start off on all fours into a tabletop position. So just bring your hand underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, trying to make sure that your fingers are nice and widely spread and that your middle finger is facing towards the top of the mat. And if you can, just rotate the elbow creases so they're facing inwards. And then just nice and strong, pushing away from the floor. Okay, so we're going to start off with a few cat-cow movements, which is really nice to mobilise the spine. So we're just going to drop the belly down towards the floor and then just bring the head up. And again, just feel a lovely stretch in the whole of the front body, really nice. And then we're going to drop the head down between the arms, just bringing the shoulders nice and strong, nice stretch over the shoulders, bring the belly up towards the ceiling. Again, this is really nice just to get movement going. And then just dropping the belly down towards the floor, bring the head up. And then arching away from the floor. And it's nice to use the breath as well, so maybe breathing in on the way down. And breathing out on the way back up. Or whichever way suits you, to be honest with you. And then I'm going to come into a nice neutral spine. So we're going to move the hips from side to side a little bit. So trying to get the shoulders in the same place. We're just moving the hips. Trying to just get a bit of movement into the lower back. It's quite nice to do some nice figure of eights as well, so just having a play. It's what suits you. And just really feeling how you feel, if you feel there's any kinks in that lower back, just doing some very gentle moves just to really sort of notice how that feels, just to release and get that tightness there. I'm a bit tight in that right hip there, so I'm just going to do some nice circles over there just to see if I can really feel some movement back in there. Very nice. Okay, so So we're going to come back onto all fours. So we're going to bring the left leg back, just really stretching that hip away, or the foot away. Really enjoying that lovely stretch on the whole back body. And we're going to just cross that left foot over the right foot. Just look over our right shoulder, just see if you can see that foot. There's a really nice stretch in the whole of the left side of the body. And come back to centre. Stretching back with the right toes. Really just enjoying that lovely sensation, just really stretching back with that heel. And then just bringing that the right foot over the left. And just looking over your left shoulder. Just enjoying that stretch in the right side of the body. And then come back to centre. So we're going to bring the knees, feet together, knees nice and wide, come back into a pose of a child. Just allow yourself to sink down. Just enjoy that lovely stretch again, the side body. And what you can also do is just bring the palms of the hands off the floor, just bring the fingertips up. So you should feel a lovely stretch in the shoulders. Again, reaching forward with the hands, pushing back with the bottom, so really elongating the whole of the side body. And then gently coming back onto all fours. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got a couple of options now, depending on how energetic you're feeling in your morning. So from all fours, what you can do is just bring that right leg between the hands, just sliding the left leg back. And again, we've got a lovely stretch on that hip flexor there, really nice. So that's option one, depending on how you're feeling today. So if you want to just stay here, that's absolutely fine. Now what you can also do is you can actually come into that pose from a downward dog. So with the fingers nice and wide, just curling the toes under and just stretching back. And again, the downward dog itself is a lovely pose. So you could always come into the downward dog and then come back onto the knees if you wanted to. And then just bring that right leg forward. Or you can from here, just bring the right leg into the air. Stretching that lovely stretch, maybe just circling the ankles a little bit while you're up here. Have a play really. And then we're going to bring the weight into the hands, just stepping the right leg between the hands. And again, you're back into a nice lunge. So if you've got the knees down, maybe you want to just bring the knees up now. And just have a play with, see how that feels. And either way, either you've got the knees up or the knees down. I'm going to bring the left hand onto the floor. Just rotate round to the right. Just bringing the arm above the head. And again, if your shoulders are a bit restricted, just pop them onto the hips. Nice, opening up the chest. And then bringing the hand back down, lowering the knee down. Bring both feet together. Or both knees together, should I say. So we're going to bring the left leg forward again. So now you can either just come into a downward dog, stretching out the back body, and then you can come back down onto the knees and then just bring the left leg forward, or from a downward dog, depending on how you're feeling today, bring the left leg up, bring the weight into the hands. Just step the left leg forward. So again, you're back into a nice lunge again. So again, the knee can be up or down. Just enjoy that lovely stretch in the back body. Front of the leg. Bring the weight of the right hand on the floor. So the left hand can either go on the hip or in the air, depending on how you're feeling. Just rotate round. Really expanding the chest. Opening up the heart. Hands back down. So you come into a plank, pushing the feet away from you. Really strong, engaging that core. Or again, half plank, if you want to bring the knees down. And then very gently pushing back into a pose of a child. Slowly coming back up. So I'm doing a very gentle twist now. So we're going to bring the weight into the left buttock. So we're going to bring the left foot so it rests on top of the right knee. So bring the right leg behind. So we've got a nice straddle. So we're going to bring the left hand behind and just very gently twist around to the left. So bring the right hand onto the left knee and just twist round to the left. Get a really lovely open twist. Just to really open up the body. And then back to centre, so move the legs the other side. So your right foot resting onto your left knee coming back. So basically the weight's on your right buttock. So bring the right hand behind, the left hand over the top, bring it onto the right knee. Just very gently twisting around, really opening up the body. Actually a really lovely open twist. And then very gently coming back to centre. And then coming into a nice cross-legged easy pose. Just really noticing how that feels. But also it's nice to just sort of take a few moments because you know we've not really worked on the neck, so if you do feel you need to just move the neck a little bit, again that's nice just to take a couple of minutes out just to say, right, okay, my neck feels a bit tight, or if the shoulders feel a bit tight, just do some nice circles with the shoulders, or just taking a few moments just to really check into the body, check into how it's settling down, just notice any sensations sort of externally in the body itself, or also inside as well, so noticing how you're feeling inside. But it's just nice just to take a few breaths here, just to really settle things down and just set you up for the day. Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Till next time. See you soon. Bye bye.